Hello again, everyone out there in podcast land, and welcome inside. Yes, the Adam Jones podcast presented by the Baltimore Banner. He is, of course, the former five-time All-Star Adam Jones. I'm Jerry Coleman, and today, AJ, in episode 53.
Arthur Rhodes, Zach Britton. I couldn't mention one without the other. Two nasty lefties that dominated for a long time in the black and orange.
Love Zach, and I love the A-Train. I got an A-Train story I could tell you, but we'll save it for off the podcast. We'll be joined, though, by another former Oriole today, former teammate of Adams. His name is Nelson Cruz, as we talk about one of the many clubs he played for, the Texas Rangers, besides the Orioles, who are, of course, in the World Series. They're back there. Adam and I are also going to discuss the Ravens. I called it a sloppy victory in Arizona. Adam disagreed vehemently on social media. Yeah, it's a win, but it wasn't too, pretty looking, as they say. We'll look ahead to this three-game homestand, starting with Seattle. Adam's in Arizona right now for the Fall Classic. So let's get this straight. After going to the World Cup and Ryder Cup, it's now the World Series on the Adam Jones Championship Tour. Have I missed anything?
No. I think next comes what? I think it's the Super Bowl or something. Maybe some college playoff games or something like that. We got to get to a Wimbledon. We got to get to a French Open. Australian Open might be a little tough, but we got to get to all the
Masters. What about the Masters?
Oh, Masters is one I definitely want to do. That is a bucket list item, bucket list thing, and hopefully I can pull some strings and get that one.
All right, well, it continues, and we just follow along and wish we could be there. Also, someone's going to qualify for a Dunkin' Donuts gift card during our Socially Speaking segment just by contributing. But before we bring in Nelson Cruz, Adam, as I just said, you're back with us watching the World Series between the 90-win Rangers, the 84-win Diamondbacks. Do you think the Orioles, you being a former player, do you think they're watching the World Series, thinking what might have been, watching the Rangers play?
As baseball fans and baseball, nuts and nerds that the players really are, I think they're watching it because a lot of their friends and peers are playing. I think they're watching it, to support their friends. They're watching it a little bit of envy. I was watching it. We should be. That's my moment. But I think as a fan of the game and promoting of the game, you're still watching it, and because you still have friends involved with it. Now, there's some guys that I'm sure some veteran guys, maybe like a Gibson or some just maybe veteran guys, maybe get away with the family, go on a hunting trip, go get lost, off in space. The guys who have the means and stuff like that. But for the younger guys, I remember just maybe going on a quick short vacation, but definitely turning on the tube and watching baseball and watching the playoffs because that's just what you do. Unless you don't like the game that much, but I think that players really do love the game and watch it. And unfortunately, you're not in it, but you're still rooting on the guys. I think as a culture, you're still rooting on the guys.
And speaking of the younger guys and the veterans, this series is loaded with a mix of two. You got guys like Corbin Carroll and Josh Jung coming onto the scene, but also established stars like Evan Longoria or Max Scherzer or Zach Gallen or Corey Seager. It's a nice mixture, this Fall Classic.
Oh, man, that's the thing. It's just a mixture of, free agent talent, obviously some veterans with Simeon Seager, Will Smith, Chapman. Like I said, they didn't bring Bruce Bochy out of retirement to start a rebuild or something like that. They brought him out of retirement to vie for a championship, and they gave him a veteran team with some really good youngsters, and they're playing well. And then Diamondbacks, same thing. They got some guys who have been through the ringer, been through the fight. Gallen is I think his fifth or sixth year there. He's been on some losing teams, and it's amazing. Merrill Kelly, there's stories. I think a lot of stories are resurfacing about him in his Korean days. Because when I played with him in 19, me and him went out to dinner all the time because we had a love for Korean food. So we go out, and I got to know him really well. And he helped me make my decision to go to Japan. So like little things like that, and just guys with a lot of different experience. Like you said, Longoria, who's played in the World Series 15 years ago, 15 years later, and he's back in the World Series. These are all great headlines. And then you got, to me, I think the biggest one is Marte. Everybody's heard about him a little bit, but Diamondbacks get no primetime games, unfortunately. So I think he is right now on this big stage. The hitting streak, just like everything that went on and transpired, goes down. He is on the big stage right now. So I think the baseball world, everybody is starting to see that Ketel Marte is a superstar.
Do you think it's possible we see some retirements after this series is over based on who wins? Like you mentioned, Evan Longoria, Max Scherzer's been around for a while, even Bruce Bochy, AJ.
I mean, if Bruce Bochy wins this, I mean, like come out and go back into the sunset. I mean, that'd be epic. I just think he came in for some years. Longo, it just depends on him, depends on his body. He's got some young kids that I know he wants to be around. I think being in Arizona, which he resides, was amazing for him this year. I think, he got to sleep at home. The travel was easy for the Diamondbacks. You play a lot of 5 o'clock games. So a lot of things favor Arizona. If you play here and live here, it favors you a lot. I mean, you got Chapman on the other side. I mean, Scherzer, he has $43 million coming next year. He will throw left-handed.
I was going to say, you don't walk away from that.
He will Paul O'Neill kick that ball up there if need be. So I just think that, I don't know. That's a good question on who. There's some guys that obviously will, but I don't know. If Longo, what he's meant to this team, if they like that and they want to bring that back, I think that would be great because he's just, he's a bridge for so many guys. I mean, I don't know. I still see him maybe give it another go.
One thing I wanted to mention before we bring on our featured guest, I did some copious research and found out the Texas Rangers were the worst road draw in all of Major League Baseball. For some reason, more people went to see Oakland or Tampa than the Rangers. And the Rangers have a lot of named players that we've mentioned already.
Yeah, I don't get that. I mean, obviously you got the Cowboys; their fans travel like no other. I mean, we'd be curious to see what the Mavericks do. Maybe the Dallas Stars drew better on the road with Mike Modano and back in the day. So that's interesting because we did the thing about the Angels and how Ohtani, he draws some of the best road crowds because people, they want to see him. And him and Trout, and so that's crazy. That's crazy. I'm curious to see what they even draw at home. Where they finish that at home, that's crazy. But at least they're getting great crowds during the playoffs. I think that
no doubt.
At the end of the day, that's what matters. And if they were to pull it off, then you never know what their crowds might be next year. Because I remember when we had success, our season tickets went more expensive and all that kind of stuff.
All right, let's bring in our featured guest. He is brought to us by our friends at Jimmy's Famous Seafood, home of the crab egg roll, where Adam has been craving for one of those. He can tell Nelson all about it sometime. Great to have Nelson on the podcast. Nelson, hope you're doing well. We still miss you here in Birdland, where I think I speak for most fans. They wish you never left here and wonder what the team could have accomplished had you stuck around past that one glorious year in 2014, Nelly.
Thank you for having me on, man. It was a great time. I really enjoyed my time in Baltimore. Great atmosphere. The fans was unbelievable. Great teammates. Good coaching staff. It was a dream season for us. And like you say, I mean, you always thought how it could be. If we all stayed together. But as far as baseball, you move everywhere. You bounce around. And you try to just get better every day and succeed,
Gente, ¿cómo estás?
Hey, mi gente. Oh, good, man. Bien. ¿Y tú?
How you been? I know it didn't finish how you wanted to. I mean, you 47, 100 years old, man. You're you and Rich Hill. I think it's a competition of who's going to be oldest in the game. It's like the guy standing on the national anthem. Who's going to finish? But
yeah.
What you been up to? I know you got released earlier in the season from the Padres, but what have you been up to since? I know working out.
Yeah, working out. I'm planning to retire from winning ball. I'm gonna play 5 games here. I'm gonna go to each stadium. I definitely love the fans in Dominican. I love my country. I always say before I retire, I'm gonna play here, and I'm gonna bring my works to reality, and I'm gonna go to each stadium and give the Dominican fans a chance to see me play for one more time.
So this is the last we're seeing of Nelson Cruz?
I think so, yeah.
464 homers? I mean, if this is, if you're retired, I mean, like, what a career. I mean, there's so many great things to say about that. I mean, we played against each other. You've made me dive a lot. You've made me run into walls.
Since the minors, huh? all the way back into the minors.
But what an absolute great career. I salute you. Saludos.
Thank you. Yeah.
And
yours, man.
Hey man, I know the next chapter. I know what the things that you're doing in Dominican with the youngsters and just what you do there is unbelievable. So, damn, you stumped me. You stumped me right now.
Well, we're on a roll with breaking news. First, it was Tommy Hunter a few weeks ago retiring on the podcast, and now it's Nelson Cruz.
You talk about the Dominican fans, and I know how passionate they are. I mean, we played together, but the Dominicans, the Venezuelans, the Mexican fans, the Cubans, you guys always have your banderas with you in your lockers, representation. You guys always celebrate the Independence Day, the Mother's Day, like around there. I always thought it was amazing. You brought your culture to American culture.
All food.
Oh, the comida. Oh, con, sancocho, habichuela. Hey, and then you top it off with the presidente. Hey, man, I'm good. But I want to talk about the WBC because the WBC is where it's the fans. And I don't think there's no more passionate fans than the Dominican fans. And us in Miami, 2013, when you guys winning it all with the Plátano, like take me back into representing your country. Again, you play in the league there. That's like me playing in MLB in a way, But what does it mean when the Dominican fans come out and show out and show the support for the Dominican players?
Well, I play for maybe 10 MLB teams, something like that. And I can only play for one country. That's my country. So I cannot change nationality and go and play another way, So that's how important we understand of putting a uniform and represent where you're coming from, what it's all about, and the passion, like I said, we have for the game. So, and the fans know that. And you can see that passion every time we take on the field and try to compete against like this case is the USA or any other countries, and we show that passion in every play and every single at bat that we take, and we're really proud to represent our country and bring that energy to the States and show how much love we have for this beautiful game.
We continue our conversation with 7-time All-Star and former Oriole Nelson Cruz right here on the Adam Jones podcast. But first, let's take a break and salute our loyal, dedicated sponsors who have been with us for a long time.
Hi guys, Oriole Hall of Famer and ambassador to the Baseball Warehouse, Mike Bordick here. We are honored and excited to help support the Adam Jones podcast. The Baseball Warehouse has 4 locations in Maryland and 2 in Pennsylvania. We specialize in private instruction, camps, showcases, charity events, Badgers baseball, and one-of-a-kind events featuring current Major League players and Hall of Famers. Our instructors have all played collegiately and professionally, many of whom have reached the major leagues. Check out thebaseballwarehouse.com to learn more and check us out on social media. Also, make sure to check out Orioles Hall of Famer Rick Dempsey's Baseball Warehouse opening in Columbia this October. Yeah, it's October 8th from 1 to 5 p.m. I'll be there with many of my former teammates, and I want to see you there.
The Adam Jones podcast is brought to you by Jimmy's Famous Seafood, Charm City's favorite crab cake destination. Local sports fan, experience the ultimate pregame party at the tailgate. Cheer on the Ravens with iconic live performances, an open bar, and mouth-watering eats. Can't make it? No worries. Bring the same food that caught the attention of the Food Network right to your doorstep. Shipping East Coast recipes nationwide. Jimmy's Famous Seafood is the official sponsor of the guests appearing on the Adam Jones podcast. And by our friends at the Weinman Company.
Your fun awaits at Hollywood Casino Perryville. Feed the whole crew with something for everyone, from cheesesteaks to crab cake sandwiches. Plus, ask how you can get a $15 dining credit. Get in on the gaming action with the hottest slots and your favorite table games like blackjack, roulette, and poker. Free live shows every Friday and Saturday. Plus, become a Penn Play member and get up to $250 in rewards. Come experience non-stop fun and excitement only at Hollywood Casino Perryville.
The Adam Jones Podcast is brought to you by Effective Solutions, your one-stop shop for commercial contracting. Everything from excavation and site development to emergency remediation and restoration. Effective Solutions specializes in many forms of commercial and mixed-use construction, like leak investigation, framing, trim carpentry, insulation, drywall, painting, wallpaper, flooring, masonry, waterproofing, paving, tree removal, and much more. With a dedicated staff and a commitment to quality, Effective Solutions delivers every time. By G-Leaf Medical Cannabis Only. Visit gleaf.com. Medical cannabis is for qualified Maryland patients only. The Adam Jones Podcast is brought to you by Royal Farms. Download the Royal Farms app from the Apple App Store or Google Play today. New Royal Farms Rewards members will get a free any-size cup of Royal Farms award-winning coffee just for signing up.
You know, it takes a lot of hard work to be a professional football kicker. I would know. I am a professional football kicker. So when I need the energy to get through a tough practice, I get a cup of coffee from Royal Farms.
Try those beans.
Royal Farms' new coffee machines grind fresh beans and brew them for a perfect cup every time. It's the freshest coffee in the world and just the kick I need.
Real fresh, real fast. Royal Farms.
By Jack Daniels, 2 legends, 1 can. Jack and Coke, the #1 cocktail in the world, is now available in a can. Yes, that's true. Jack Daniels Tennessee Whiskey, mixed with Coca-Cola or Coca-Cola Zero Sugar, are now both available in a can. 2 legends, 1 can. Jack and Coke, ready to drink? Please drink responsibly. Whiskey specialty, 7% alcohol by volume. Jack Daniels Tennessee Whiskey, Lynchburg, Tennessee. And a reminder, if you guys are enjoying this podcast, make sure to check out the Baltimore Banner at thebaltimorebanner.com/AJ to get started.
Now we get back to our ongoing conversation with former Oriole and 7-time All-Star Nelson Cruz right here only on the Adam Jones Podcast. Nelson, you wore 8 different uniforms by my count during your major league career. Milwaukee, Texas, Baltimore, Seattle, Minnesota, Tampa, Washington, and San Diego. I don't think I missed anyone. Did you keep jerseys from each team? Are they framed on your walls somewhere on one of your, man cave places, or is it something that's sitting in a drawer, or you didn't take anything with you?
Yeah, I got jersey to every one of those. I think the only one that I'm missing to frame is the one from the Padres. I will do that soon. But I have the jersey for every single of those teams, and you have to appreciate the gift to be able to play in the big leagues. It's a gift, and then you earn that. So you have to make sure you keep history of every one of those spots where you play, because it's a privilege. You only have 25 guys to play in the big leagues for each team. So if you are one of us, you should feel privileged, And I always say that I always thank God, because I believe He gave me more than I deserve and more than what I want. So through baseball, I've been able to just create a better environment for kids in my community and my country, and be able to bring help and take care of so many people in Dominican and outside in the States. So like I said earlier, baseball is not only a game, it's a life-changing for us as a Dominican.
I want to talk about that also. I'm giving you your flowers today, Gente. Is the 2020 Marvin Miller Award. I won that award also. That shows how selfless you are. That's giving your time. It's easy to give money. You give time. When you give time, that is, those kids feel it. When they get to, hey, Nelson, wrap their arms around your legs and stuff like that, and you can't go like a little kid. That's priceless. You won the Muhammad Ali Humanitarian Award. Nobody in baseball gets that award. Okay?
No.
That's not a baseball player's award, at all. I don't even know who wins that award. That's not a baseball
No, not only that, when they show me the athletes that were in bowling, I was like, oh my God, there's no way I'm gonna win this thing. You see so many athletes from football, basketball, hockey, soccer, and I was like, wow, superstars. And I was glad just to be mentioned on those names, and just to be able to win, I was like, wow. Sometimes you do works and you don't know the impact you're doing it. You're doing it because you think that's the right thing, and you take some stuff for granted because, just living the life day by day. And then they put everything together, and I'm like, wow, I've been doing a lot of stuff through the years. So it makes you realize that what you do is the right thing, and you you got to keep pushing, and bring that message to the other generation. That's the way you should do it. I saw Michael John when I was in Texas, and I saw Adam Jones there in Baltimore, and I know Adam Jones saw the players doing it. So it's a culture, it's a like brotherhood that it brings that message, and it just keep coming. And hopefully, we got more players doing the same thing. And I know, they have their own foundation, and they're doing a great things with us.
That's what I want to ask. The third one was the Roberto Clemente, and I know, being a Latin American, obviously Roberto's Puerto Rican, but just being a Latin American, the representation and what he has done, in his life and what he brought, the humanitarian aid. He passed away doing something for someone else, being selfless, and what does that mean for you as representing? He represent the Latin Americans wearing number 21. I think that is unbelievable. We get Jackie Robinson. And I think the representation of Roberto Clemente is amazing.
Yeah, no doubt. He was an example. That's the one that you want to follow. He's the one that you want to be like on and off the field. And you always think like, wow. When I first got called up to the big leagues, my first few years, I saw the Roberto Clemente award. I was like, wow, this is a long way for me to reach. In 2 years, I've been nominated. Like, oh wow, that's like amazing, And every year you get close, like wow. And at the end, like you doing it because, like I said, you think it's right, You don't do it because I want to win the award, but like it's nice to know that people are paying attention, and I should be an example for all the players, the ones that are coming behind me. That's the way you should do it, and. It's always a privilege, when people recognize the work they put on, especially in the community. Because when you do it on the field, is you're doing it to win. Outside of baseball, you're changing, you're changing life, you're impacting life of people that are really needed,
Nelson, what's it been like for you to watch the Rangers back in the World Series? They've never won one, as you're well aware. It seems like, and Adam and I were just talking about this earlier, it seems like they care more about the Dallas Cowboys than the Rangers down there. The Rangers were the worst road draw in the American League. I'm sure they packed the place for the World Series at home, but, what's it been like for you to watch all this?
It's always nice to see, especially a former organization like the Orioles in that case, or the Rangers, the Mariners, the last few years, they've been doing a great job. Just to see them grow, and see them doing better, because you always have that feeling for those organizations that they give you a chance to play. And I hope for them to win the whole thing. I know I was there when they played Houston a few weeks ago, and the energy that they have, I was in the hotel, and the energy the fans have, it was incredible. So I always wish the best, and hopefully they can win the whole thing. That should be incredible.
How much baseball do you watch? Obviously the World Series.
Yeah.
But just in general, I know that you was away from the game. Are you in tune to what's going on? Are you?
Of course. Yeah. I always pay attention. I love the game, so I had to stay involved. I also watch winter ball, so I was just in one of those games in Santo Domingo watching winter ball game. Like I said, I want to pay attention also because they're gonna play, so I want to make sure I know kind of what to expect from pitchers.
Yeah.
So but I love the game. It's hard for us once you play for 25 years, just to leave the game. That's impossible. That's not gonna happen. So I'm always paying attention to what's going on.
Well, that's a natural question. If you're not going to play anymore, what's the next step in Nelson Cruz's career? Coaching?
No, coaching. I have few stuff. I have few choices that I can pick and go. Later on, you probably will find out.
Secret, right?
Yeah.
But
once I finish, I will let everybody know what's going to happen.
You have such a good reputation of being the gente, the big brother to everybody. When you came in, veteran, I would consider myself at that time a veteran, Markakis a veteran. You brought this overall calmness no matter what happens. We were struggling, going through it. It didn't matter. Who helped you become the leader that you became? Because, everybody has somebody that came before them and helped them.
Yeah. I always admire Michael John. He always was calm as the water. Don't matter the situation, win or loss, he always there for media. He always there for the teammates. He always bring you that positive vibe. Oh, okay, you're gonna be okay. Stuff like that will happen. I remember one time I was killing fastballs, and we show up to New York, and Mariano threw me 2-3 fastballs, blew by me, and I was down because I have the Tyrone on second base. I was like, he was like, dude, it's okay. It's Mariano first, and the stuff like that will happen. Just keep your head up and keep going. It's not gonna be the first time. It's not gonna be the last time. So move on. I mean, when stuff like that happen, and you have your teammates go and go around and make sure he has you back. That wasn't a great example. So I always thought, that's the way I wanna make sure I treat my teammates and I take care of my teammates. And if I see something wrong, like we battle for and we fight for our teammates for the best for them. That was all about.
The nickname Boomstick, it's been around for a while. It's part of your Twitter handle and all that. Who put that label on you? Who gave that to you?
2009, we were doing a video game, the 2K. And on the video game, I was writing myself hitting a homer, and I call my bat the Boomstick. So since then, everywhere I go, the fans ask me about it, like, what is the Boomstick, where you keep the Boomstick? And, a few years later, that was part of me, I guess.
Before we let you go, I mean, your time is precious. Appreciate everything. You broke some news. I'm flabbergasted. I want to talk about longevity. You played till you're 42 years old. You say you're 42.
43.
43. Oh, no, Nelson.
I look younger than 43.
No, you're a baby. Yes, you're a baby.
We got to cut them open and count the rings.
Yeah.
I want you to talk to us and to the young people, whoever's listening. How did you train to be able to play this long? Again, you are 6'4", 240. So that is a disclaimer. That means you are a big guy. Not everybody's going to be big like you.
Yeah.
So, but how did you still train your body to be able to play this long? Because it doesn't matter what you do. This is a long time. You've been playing since you was little hijo.
Yeah. I signed. I was 17 when I signed. It was like 1998. So it's been 25 years playing, without stop. I never stop. I'd probably take like 2 weeks break and just go right after. I think the longest that I think is right now, since I got released into now, start training. Since young age, I understand hard work is the one to pay off. It don't matter how much talent you have. Talent go away, but if you work enough, the talent will take over. Go away, and then hard work will pay off, and will take over talent. And through young age, I understand of that. And I make sure I sleep well, eat healthy, take care of my body. The first thing that I did, my first contract, was to build my own gym. I want to make sure when I go home, it don't matter what time I show up home. Sometimes I have business to do. I got to go to Capital and come back home. And I'm 2 in the morning. I show up to the gym and I work out, and I show up to the cage and hit. So just the disciplines to, it don't matter where I am and what's going on around me. I understand preparation is key, and it should be the most important thing for myself, and I think I've been blessed to stay healthy, because to play so many years without major injuries, that's also something that you have to be grateful, because you got so many chances to just do something and your career can be over. So I've been blessed for that too.
Well, you look and sound great. We wish you nothing but the best in the next chapter of your career, whatever that may be. We'll stay tuned for all that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Gracias, gente.
Take care.
Thanks, Nelson. Wow, you guys go back a long way. He was talking about minor league days. You only played his teammates, though, together for 1 year at the major league level, correct?
Yeah, just one in 2014, but he came up as a Brewer. He always hit the ball hard. He's a professional. Always been a good guy. Like how he talks to us, how he always, talks to everybody in the clubhouse. I think he was able to hone in our Latin players, and just everybody. He's the gente. So a lot of guys gravitated to him and his energy. Very smart IQ, acumen for the game of baseball, and just can't say enough positive things about him. Everybody that's crossed his paths with him have said he's one of the best teammates. I wish we was able to keep him in 14.
Yeah.
After 14.
There were a lot of Oriole fans.
Yeah. I mean, I think the money was fair at the time. And unfortunately, we were unable to keep him. But, you know, he's had a great career. And, you know, I wish him nothing but the best in the future. That's just what a great dude. Nelson Cruz is, like, to anybody you say, he just what a great guy.
Time now to move ahead to our For the Bird segment. It's brought to you by our friends at the Baseball Warehouse, where they teach you baseball the right way. Check them out at the Baseball Warehouse, where you learn to play the game the proper way. Now, Adam, as we have said, is in the desert for this week. The Ravens were just out there. They flew in and flew out with a victory. Next up is Seattle. But in the end, no letdown in Arizona. It shouldn't have been that close, in my opinion. They gave up 17 points in the fourth quarter against a one-win team. Yeah, it counts as a victory, but it wasn't, as Buck Showalter used to say, aesthetically pleasing. But in the end, it is a W. But too many missed opportunities. I mean, to allow an onside kick, that was the first time in 9 years, and to not run the ball as much as they did early on was even something Lamar Jackson remarked about after the game.
A win is a win, but I feel like we need to put more points on the board. We was punting the ball a lot this game. We didn't do it last week, but it's the NFL. Sometimes things might not go our way.
They won. It's a road win. Road wins are they are what they are because a team at home always has that energy. Unfortunately, Arizona, they don't play well at home. Just like the last few years, they just are atrocious at home. But it's a road win. Like, you can't expect them to play how they played the previous week, beating the Lions. I mean, that was probably the most efficient game I think I've ever seen the Ravens play.
Yes.
You can't expect them to do that on the road. Unfortunately, that's just not how the road works. The road is gritty. The road is nasty, and it's hostile. There's crowd noise that's different. When Lamar is talking. When Lamar's in his cadence at home, it's quiet. When Lamar's in his cadence on the road, it is noise. It's just a different animal. So by them, I don't even say escaping with a win. By them getting a win, Gus Edwards 3 touchdowns. My man Andrews with another tub. But I'm just saying, it's like when you go on the road, it's a hostile environment. But they got a W on the road. Flying cross country, they got a W. You can pick and nitpick at small things, of course. That's easy to do. Run the ball 32 times. As you know, that's what you're the greatest when you do that. Do this more. You miss this. You miss that. You can nitpick at all those things. But I just say, when you're on the road, hostile things happen. Things just happen. And if they're able to get that W, I don't think anybody is mad. I just think, again, stop tweeting per play and you'll be fine. Like me,
I don't tweet per play. I
was unable. Unfortunately, I was unable to watch the game because I was on a flight back to the States. But I don't tweet every play. Now, if there's something cool, it's a big hit, a big throw, a big play, yeah. But I'm not. Oh man, 3rd and 2. Oh, why'd you run that ball? Like, I'm not tweeting that. Throw the ball. Like, look, you get how many possessions? This question for you. How many possessions do you get in the NFL? 10.
Well, it depends. I mean, on average, between 10, maybe a dozen, maybe 14.
Okay, so how many you expected? So you expect to score a touchdown on every one? That'd make you score 140.
That would be unreasonable.
If you're able to get 28 to 32 points, make 30. That's a pretty good thing. That's scoring on 5 of those chances. You know what I mean? So, and the Ravens have the best weapon in the game ever with Tucker inside 65. Nobody does that. So, you pull out a win on the road, man. That, to me, it doesn't matter how you get that road win, as long as you get it.
Maybe I'm bitter because they didn't cover the spread and Justin Tucker missed.
Okay, now let's get to the real.
That hurt me. Maybe I am, but they are 6-2. They're atop the AFC North. They're also tied with Miami, Kansas City, and Jacksonville for the best record in the conference, and they're 4-1 on the road this year. So they've won 4 of the last 5 on the road. That's pretty
impressive. They're playing phenomenal, and I know they're going to have a good stretch at home. So, that's favorable for them. Just get real off some more wins.
All these NFL teams are very close. I mean, we saw what happened last Sunday when teams like Kansas City and San Francisco lose. So, I mean, it is a week-to-week league, as they say. The good news is for Ravens fans that didn't enjoy that broadcast crew last Sunday, you got the number 1 crew of, the talkative Tony Romo and Jim Nantz coming to Baltimore for the Seahawks game. Seattle's no slouch. They just took it to Cleveland. and they have won 5 of their last 6, Adam.
Dude, Geno Smith he's figured out something. I to be honest with you, you have to give credit to Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
It's his system.
Oldest coach.
It worked. It works. His system works because Geno Smith did not have these numbers while with the Jets. And you look at Russell Wilson's numbers with the Broncos, he ain't got these numbers that he had with the Seahawks. It has to be this man's system. It has to be. And you got to give credit to him. And, obviously you give credit to the player who's honing into and buying into the system. That's, you have to do that also. Like Jordan bought into the triangle.
Right.
So, but props to the Seahawks for, people think, me included, I think everybody in the football world saying, oh, Russell Wilson's gone. Oh, they lost their superstar. They're about to be trash. They're not going to be good. And it was like, we're a playoff team. The Broncos aren't. We're 5-2 right now. I don't know what the Broncos are. Who cares? So I just think that what they're
not
doing.
5-2. We know that.
Yeah, they're not 5-2. But no, they just beat the. They just
upset the Chiefs. Yep.
But that's the league. That's the league. A road game, hostile environment. But yeah, whatever's going on up in Seattle is a really good thing, and I think the Ravens need to do what they did, the same thing that they did to the Lions. This team is flying cross country, punch them in the mouth, and send their ass back up there. Send them with a bushel of crabs, and keep it moving, because this is a big game. I think this is one of those games that obviously it's not make or break for the season, but puts you in a 7-2 versus 6-3 is a little bit different.
Beginning of a 3-game homestand, as I said, and then they'll get back into conference play with Cleveland and Cincinnati. But Geno Smith better account for Geno Stone, who now leads the NFL in interceptions with 5. Can you talk contract year? Mention Justin Madubuike, who now has a team-high 6.5 sacks in a contract year. So cha-ching for those two. And Michael Pierce had a hell of a game as well.
We always mention the contract year. I just think that the contract year falls in line with maturity as the player gets older, as he gets more mature, as he gets more, education in the game. So it just happens that, the 4th year guys in the NFL or 5th year is his free agent year. Well, he's been there 5 years. I think he should, at this point, be knowledgeable of what the hell's going on around him and know what people are doing to him, making adjustments. So, but kudos to them, and honestly, just, I always knock on wood, and hopefully they just stay healthy and keep doing what they're doing, because that defense is very disruptive. And when they're full strength, it is a very, very stingy defense.
All right, let's put a bow and tie on this latest episode, number 53. And we thank again Nelson Cruz for joining us, and great talk about the Ravens. But now, Socially Speaking is where we answer a tweet or social media post, and you can qualify for a Dunkin' Donuts gift card. Even Chip Franklin's following us now, at least on X, at Adam Jones Pod. Also Facebook and Instagram, at Adam Jones Pod. This week, we put out a poll on the X, where you can locate us at Adam Jones Pod. And this was regarding the Orioles and their Gold Glove candidates. They have 3, Adam. And we asked who is most likely to capture a Gold Glove. Would it be Austin Hayes, Adley Rushman, Ryan Mountcastle, or I guess D, none of the above?
That's a tough one. For me, I think Hayes, because, I think how he just played left field tremendously. I mean, it's a new left field. A lot of other people, road players, misplayed a lot of balls out there. His range, his arm, I think played a really big role in, and him and Mateo relays, both really strong arms. I think Adley's a good finalist. I think Jonah had a really good year.
Jonah Heim, yeah.
Jonah Heim had a fantastic year, throwing the ball. Obviously, starting in the All-Star game, I think they take a little bit of that into consideration. Finishing second is not a bad thing. It just means that, hey, next year that means you're on their radar. Mountie, I didn't know Mountie was over there picking the ball like that. Like, I didn't know he was picking the ball like that. I'm just happy that he has, the first baseman's a very important position. You just think it's just some big lug, but no, there's throws that these guys have. There's 2 seamers that run in that dirt, and these guys over there picking balls that you never could have thought that would be picked. So I don't know if he's going to win it, but just for him to be in the consideration is a tribute to his hard work and true dedication to learning another position, because he went from the shortstop to left field, and I remember that in all these other positions, and he's honed into first base. You see these big old mitt over there. And, for him to just put himself on the map as a perennial Gold Glove first baseman, I think is a tribute just to him, and just salute and kudos to him. But I think Hayes is the one that gets it out of the three to me.
Yeah, Mountcastle made that transition from the outfield to the infield, and has done it seamlessly, as I was trying to say the first time. All right, again, find us on social media to qualify for that Dunkin' Donuts gift card at Adam Jones Pod. But let's again salute our loyal sponsors.
Hi, guys. Oriole Hall of Famer and ambassador to the Baseball Warehouse, Mike Bordick here. We are honored and excited to help support the Adam Jones podcast. The Baseball Warehouse has 4 locations in Maryland and 2 in Pennsylvania. We specialize in private instruction, camps, showcases, charity events, Badgers baseball, and one-of-a-kind events featuring current Major League players and Hall of Famers. Our instructors have all played collegiately and professionally, many of whom have reached the major leagues. Check out thebaseballwarehouse.com to learn more, and check us out on social media. Also, make sure to check out Orioles Hall of Famer Rick Dempsey's Baseball Warehouse opening in Columbia this October. Yeah, it's October 8th from 1 to 5 p.m. I'll be there with many of my former teammates, and I want to see you there.
The Adam Jones Podcast is brought to you by Jimmy's Famous Seafood, Charm City's favorite crab cake destination. Local sports fan, experience the ultimate pregame party at the tailgate. Cheer on the Ravens with iconic live performances, an open bar, and mouth-watering eats. Can't make it? No worries. Bring the same food that caught the attention of the Food Network right to your doorstep. Shipping East Coast recipes nationwide. Jimmy's Famous Seafood is the official sponsor of the guests appearing on the Adam Jones Podcast. And by our friends at the Weinman Company.
Your fun awaits at Hollywood Casino Perryville. Feed the whole crew with something for everyone, from cheesesteaks to crab cake sandwiches. Plus, ask how you can get a $15 dining credit. Get in on the gaming action with the hottest slots and your favorite table games like blackjack, roulette, and poker. Free live shows every Friday and Saturday. Plus, become a Penn Play member and get up to $250 in rewards. Come experience non-stop fun and excitement only at Hollywood Casino Perryville.
The Adam Jones Podcast is brought to you by Effective Solutions, your one-stop shop for commercial contracting. Everything from excavation and site development to emergency remediation and restoration. Effective Solutions specializes in many forms of commercial and mixed-use construction, like leak investigation, framing, trim carpentry, insulation, drywall, painting, wallpaper, flooring, masonry, waterproofing, paving, tree removal, and much more. With a dedicated staff and a commitment to quality, Effective Solutions delivers every time. By G-Leaf Medical Cannabis only. Visit gleaf.com. Medical cannabis is for qualified Maryland patients only. The Adam Jones Podcast is brought to you by Royal Farms. Download the Royal Farms app from the Apple App Store or Google Play today. New Royal Farms Rewards members will get a free any-size cup of Royal Farms award-winning coffee just for signing up.
Hey, Justin, keep an eye on the time. It's your night to handle dinner.
No worries. Got it covered. It's great getting dinner ready with no worries. That's why I never waste time and go straight to Royal Farms. Their chicken is fresh, never frozen, hand-breaded, and cooked right in the store.
Oh, wow, this smells amazing. I'm so impressed.
Real fresh, real fast. Royal Farms.
By Jack Daniels, 2 legends, 1 can. Jack and Coke, the #1 cocktail in the world, is now available in a can. Yes, that's true. Jack Daniels Tennessee Whiskey, mixed with Coca-Cola or Coca-Cola Zero Sugar, are now both available in a can. 2 legends, 1 can. Jack and Coke, ready to drink? Please drink responsibly. Whiskey specialty, 7% alcohol by volume. Jack Daniels Tennessee Whiskey, Lynchburg, Tennessee. And a reminder, if you guys are enjoying this podcast, make sure to check out the Baltimore Banner at thebaltimorebanner.com/AJ to get started.
Much gratitude to senior executive producer Chip Franklin for putting this latest episode together. Chip is a big Jock supporter, but he never wore one.
What the hell did you say?
Go out and subscribe to the Baltimore Banner. And until next week, be kind, be real, and make sure to be back for another episode of the Adam Jones Podcast.